G'day geeks, Chris here, and I was recently in the lovely city of Fremantle on the weekend just gone, and I thought I'd look for some geeky things while I was there. Comics, toys, all that kind of stuff. Wasn't entirely successful in all of the places that I went to, but thankfully there was a few surprises in store, so I picked up a small but pretty cool haul. So let's have a look at some of the stuff I picked up while I was in Freo. Let's go. I spent time studying in Fremantle in the mid-1990s, so I used to spend a lot of time in that city, but I haven't been there for a few years actually. But yes, the weekend just gone, me and a few friends were helping doing some gardening of a friend of ours, so I thought while I was there I'll take the opportunity to look at op shops and stuff. So I think I went to 3 or 4 op shops, or what you would call thrift stores in other countries. Didn't find anything there, but I did want to check out Elizabeth's secondhand bookstores because I know they have 2 relatively big bookshops in Fremantle. So I did go there, did rifle through their comics. They were unfortunately very overpriced. I don't know what their pricing policy is there, but the prices were all over the place, but generally way too expensive for what you could expect, unfortunately. So yeah, I mean they had an interesting array and variety, but I didn't buy any actual comics. But of the 2 Elizabeth secondhand bookstores that I did go, I managed to find one of them had some cool things. So the first one, this is Mouse. So this is from 1986, published by Pantheon Books, I think. So originally this was serialized in the pages of Raw magazine, and this is by creator Art Spiegelman. As you can kind of tell by the cover, it's a very kind of serious book about his father's experiences with the Holocaust, and it's what we would call an anthropomorphic tale. You got cats and mice and pigs, kind of retelling the stories of the Holocaust from the survivors. Wildly acclaimed, one of the most significant graphic novels ever published. So this is the first collection from 1986, and it's usually like this and Watchmen, Dark Knight Returns all came out in the same year, 1986, that heralded a new direction in the maturity of the comic book sequential art graphic novel format. So if you're a fan of comic book history, you would have heard of Mouse. I've read it but never actually owned it, so pretty happy to grab this for only $11. This is definitely a classic piece of comics literature. This is an interesting so this is Brother Yun or Yun. So I think I read his book called The Heavenly Man, which was about his persecution as a Chinese Christian decades ago and how we lived through that, and this is a comic adaptation of that, so I was quite surprised to find that there. But I do like obscure Christian comics, so I thought I would grab that. So true story, called Yun, Brother Yun, very interesting. And lastly, I was very happy to find this is Wizard number 15. So talk about comics history and something very different from the other 2 books we've looked at. Wizard number 15. Wizard was a mainstay in the 90s and early 2000s, and as it says on the spine, Wizard is the guide to comics. For many of us before the internet, Wizard was our go-to place for updates, creator interviews, cool new artwork, sneak peek of new characters, and all the happenings in the comics industry. They usually had like posters and all manner of things. It's pretty awesome. So this is definitely a time capsule. There's like an interview with William Shatner. There's like a bit of a drawing thing. There's some games, but just obviously the old ads and all that kind of stuff are just absolutely fabulous. And I think this one actually also has a bit of a gatefold cover. So yes, I think that's what works potentially. It's got a bit of an article on the upcoming X-Men animated series coming out as well in 1992, I think. So yeah, there's the price guide. None of these prices are relevant these days, of course, but yeah, top 10 artists and all that kind of stuff, and people making their own toys, and a bit of a cosmic card checklist. You can buy the whole set for $9. That's pretty awesome. So yes, definitely a throwback to a simpler time in the comics industry, but clearly the collector's market was in full swing. And a bit of a quiz, what's happening at Dark Horse. So yeah, I have like a whole tub worth of old Wizard magazines from when I used to collect them back in the day, but this is definitely the earliest one I have. So this is Wizard, the Guide to Comics magazine, number 15. So very happy to get these 3 things from Elizabeth's second-hand bookstore in Fremantle. I certainly got my steps up the day I was in Fremantle, and I checked out Toy World. So Toy World is a bit of a, it's been around for decades. I used to go to Toy World when I was a kid, and I thought I haven't been to a Toy World shop in years, so popped in. It's pretty big, lots of stuff there, not heaps in the way of action figures, but yeah, they certainly had some stuff I hadn't seen before, like the cool Mashables, some Spider-Man figures, but yeah, nothing, they didn't have any, McFarlane toys or, Hasbro or Mattel, any of that kind of stuff, but they had these, I saw these, rather large ninjas that kind of look like Action Mans. They were like discounted. They looked like kind of Storm Shadow, Snake Eyes from G.I. Joe, and I was tempted, but they were big, and I thought, nah. But yeah, certainly had some interesting things, and guns, toy guns. You don't really see those in toy shops anymore. So it's definitely worth, putting my head into the store and having a bit of a look. But I didn't buy anything from Toy World. And finally, my last visit in Fremantle was at Target. I don't have any Target near me, so I thought I'll just out of curiosity I'll duck in. Not a huge range or display and their kind of action figure kind of stuff, but yeah, I don't normally collect Hot Wheels, but I'm a sucker for the old classic Mattel logo, the circular logo there, and these obviously looked very 80s, so yes, nothing fantastic on the back. Bright colours, very 80s, I love that, so I had to get a couple of those. So yes, the hot ones, and what's that called? Ultra Hots. So yeah, kind of reminds me of like the Transformers and the Mask kind of cars, very similar to that. So yeah, bright colours, get them in packet. They look pretty cool. On the checkout, on the way out, also grabbed this out of a impulse buy. This is kind of like a Kinder Surprise, I guess, but instead of chocolate, it's got like this jelly lolly kind of stuff with a transformer inside. So put it together. It's very kind of rubbery, so it's not like a hard plastic Lego, but this is Wheeljack in car form, and I guess you can get Bumblebee Gold as the chase, and in posed robot form as well. But yeah, this is what he looks like. Very simple, almost like a little micro machine, well, a bit bigger than that. But yeah, pretty. You just kind of click him together, but it's very soft kind of plastic. But yeah, he looks pretty cool. I don't think I'll get any others. It's just an impulse buy on the on the way to the checkout, but pretty cool. Got the little Autobot symbol as well. So there we go, Wheeljack. The last purchase of the day was this. This is a Stranger Things crossover with Mr. Potato Head, or Pop Taters as they call them. So yes, they had like a Chucky one. There was one from The Office, and yeah, that's Dustin from Stranger Things, which is coming on to its final season on Netflix, which is very sad. But yeah, I know there's a He-Man one as well, which I was looking for, but they didn't have the He-Man one there, unfortunately. But yes, so there we go, little Mr. Potato kind of stuff, and he's got all different accessories, and you can change him with the other Potato Head characters as well. But yeah, pretty obscure, pretty funny. You don't see a lot of these kind of things around, so I'm glad that I ducked into Target, because all of these things I haven't seen anywhere else, so I was pretty happy to get that. So there we go, a bunch of stuff from my trip to Fremantle. Definitely worth checking out Fremantle and just seeing what they have on offer. So yeah, I reckon it's wherever you go to a different city or town or whatever, poke your head out, do a bit of research, see if there's any op shops or thrift stores around. You never know what you might find at bookstores or new toy places or whatever. So yeah, a couple of cool, or 3 new cars, I guess. Stranger Things, Mr. Potato Head, a couple of cool comics, and a very nostalgic Wizard magazine for my little haul from my half-day trip to Fremantle. So pretty pleased with all of this stuff for sure. Thank you for watching all the way to the end, and I'll catch you in the next one. Goodbye, geeks.